What got you intrigued about these people that do background work and nobody knows their names?
Well, I was an extra when I first moved to Los Angeles to get on a bigger film set, to be an aspiring filmmaker. And upon getting on a few sets, being in a few movies, I started to meet different background people in holding, and I was fascinated by some of the characters I was meeting.
What are they making today? Because I think when I first came here, it was $45 a day and food.
It hasn't gone up much. I think non-union's $54 a day.
Okay.
And I think in union it's like $118 and food. So, and that's up to 8 hours. Anything over 8 hours, it just starts getting bumped up. But typically those are the rates.
Well, first of all, to join the union is so expensive, and the people that you spotlight in the film, they really don't have the means. I had a friend, because the fees in Los Angeles were so high, she actually got into SAG in Seattle because it was half the fee.
Yeah, it's not cheap. It's almost $1,500, and I think it's going up even more. So yeah, and the rub is if you do it and you get in SAG, you're going to work a lot less. So it's kind of a tough thing to do if you're just a background artist surviving. It's tough to even do that because then you're taking your livelihood away.
Well, in the film, the people that you show, I would call them marginal. One was homeless, and they're all almost on the verge of being homeless.
Well,
in your film,
I'd say some. I mean, a couple of them have made it in life. A couple of them made their money and they moved out here to chase their dream, and they could afford to do that. That's only a few. Yeah, the other ones, 4 of them don't have any type of transportation. They survive. In LA, it's pretty tough to get around, especially on these sets from all over. They're getting up at 4 in the morning to make it to a set and hopefully get on. So yes, most of them this is their livelihood, and they're chasing their dream and barely getting by.
And I guess I'm assuming they think that maybe somebody will find them and give them a big part.
That is their dream, absolutely. They are all convinced, and they've never given up on their dream. And maybe this film is that vehicle to help them do that. I hope so. I've seen them grow from picking them out of the casting call to going to festivals with them and having Q&As with them. I've seen their characters all grow and their egos as well. So maybe this is that stepping stone.
I have to tell you, I know people that do background work, but they do it interspersed with doing other work. I know people that are school teachers. They have, so much time off, they can do it then. I have friends that have retired from work, and this is what they do, but they actually have pensions, maybe Social Security. They have money, but this is just something fun to do.
Right. Well, some of them actually do other jobs. Lewis McCartan comes to mind. He is a security guard all over town, as well as an extra. I ran into him at the Mocha just last weekend, being a security guard. Terry Bolo does Hollywood tours. So all of them, or most of them, do something else to help bring some income in. And then some of the other ones that's all they do full time.
I have to tell you, I think after you do this 1 or 2 times, anyone who's, my audience, you people out there, you think that this is really exciting, they first of all, they'll set up a shot. You'll sit around for hours and hours doing absolutely nothing. It is the most boring vocation I can ever think of. You have to be creative. You have to knit, read, play checkers. There has to be something that you do because nothing goes on all day long.
Correct. And a lot of them just bond together. And when we did this movie, a lot of them were already friends and knew each other from sets because you're right, you sit around most of the time.
Right. And it's hard. I think it's hard.
Yeah, no, sitting around doing nothing is incredibly a lot harder than being strenuous.
How did you get these people to let you follow them around? You have about 9 or 10 people in the film.
10 people, well, I didn't have to let them. They wanted to do it, so I had no problem there. I had a big casting call in Hollywood, and we had a ton of people show up. So that was the easy part, giving that access to their lives, because these people, they're background artists. They want to be heard and vocalized, so that was the easy part.
Really, I'm amazed. I guess, they figure they'll get their big break, and it's starring in a movie.
Absolutely, they finally get to be heard, and they all believe how important extras are to a film, and you know, I think after seeing this movie, everyone gets that realization that how important they truly are.
I know one thing, that these people at one time, when there was a studio system, which is gone, it's everyone would work. My father went to school out here. He went to USC, and when he had time, they would send him over to the Fox lot. So he worked. In those days, it was $5 a day, but again, they got fed. Hey, the height of the Depression, do you know what my dad did? The uncle he was staying with, who had no work, when my father didn't work, he would give him the card, and his uncle would show up. $5 and food? Are you kidding? That was fabulous. People don't realize. But today, you actually have to go out on casting calls, and and some of these people, they bring their own clothes. Because I know I have a friend of mine who reads about the project, and she has wardrobes like you wouldn't believe. She spends a lot of time in thrift shop getting things ready in case there's a casting call, which you show in the film too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, not only this is not a glamorous job, it's a hard job to even get on a set. It's not. Yeah, you'd think that it would just be waiting for you like back in the day, but it's not like that. And yeah, the more wardrobe you have, the more castable you are, the more looks that you can bring. Yeah, so it's a really thankless job, and you have to love what you're doing, or maybe love the fact that you're in a movie even for a second. That's like your big moment, and so that keeps them going.
It sure does. Well, you're going to be in a whole bunch of film festivals.
Correct. We've screened at 6 already, I believe, and we have several ahead of us, including there's some in Kansas City. I'm going to Edmonton, Canada, Nova Scotia, Florida, New York, and then one I'm real excited about is Cork, Ireland, because my grandfather was an Ireland immigrant, and he's from Cork, and I've never been there, and what a great reason to go to the homeland is to premiere my film. So
that's the that's the best part of doing a film, when you can get to go other places, even to do location. After you go to all these film festivals, what do you think your next project is going to be? You have something on the drawing boards for yourself?
I do. While we were waiting to get in our first festival, I took some time off and did some writing. So I've got some fiction things. One I'm really ready to start pitching. I don't want to divulge too much because then I'll just inevitably jinx it. But we also have a TV show version of Strictly Background that I'm interested in doing. So, like kind of the same essence of the movie, but a reality version.
That would be interesting. I would love to see that, because as I say, I know the quirky characters that go out for this sort of thing.
Oh yeah, and
that's what you show in the film. They are
the
wall.
They're off the wall, and you could. I mean, as wonderful they are, if we did the TV show, I wouldn't recast them because they've done their thing and they've moved on. But you could recast this movie every day with so many people out here, the hundreds of extras to pull from, thousands, and yeah, you could get the characters. One thing the show would have that the movie didn't is probably bring in also the younger appeal. So someone fresh-faced to L.A. right off the bus, and maybe have that character as well as some of the other ones I had. I tried that in the movie, but it just wasn't working because you only have 84 minutes. You just don't have, weeks and continue to do it. So I pulled back and went with the older, more interesting people for the film. But I think the show has to have a little bit of that flavor.
That's true. Hey, this was great talking with you. I wish you a lot of luck.
Well, thank you very much. This has been great.